Hey there, I'm Courtney if you're new, and if you're not new, welcome back. In this video, we are doing a little spring cleaning around the back part of our property where it's like the spot between the goat pens and the other sheds. It was just getting a little out of hand after the winter time, and last year we didn't really do anything as far as maintaining cleanliness back here. So we worked on getting stuff kind of reorganized. We tore down the chicken run that we had and just cleaned up some scrap metal and things like that. So we're going to take you along with us while we get that done, and then I'll be back when we're all finished. So first off, we just kind of go around and pick up a bunch of the stuff that was laying around. Just a little bit of tidying up here. We got rid of a lot of trash that we didn't need, threw away, just random things, and then put wood back in front. So what you're looking right in front of us is kind of our wood pile of good boards and lumber and metal and things like that. And that's where we end up putting a lot of the stuff that is still good hanging around. We stack stuff up there. And then we're just, like I said, just tidying up around here. And then once we get that finished up, there was some parts of the chicken run that we already had torn down, and Ray was just cutting those up really quickly, and we're working on that a little bit. We had these lattice panel things that we'd had forever, and I wanted to get rid of them. Here is just where we're cleaning up the chicken run. I'm going to be using those mesh tarps that I'm picking up on our next chicken run, hopefully in a better way of using them so then the chickens don't fly out and predators don't come in. And then of course you see Ray here cutting down the chicken run that we had. And this is what the majority of our work was just doing a lot of that cutting down and cleaning up with that chicken run. Here we were doing some less than safe things. We were putting up some T-posts, and we didn't feel like using the post pounder, so we decided to use some heavy equipment. It was a little bit scary here to do that, but we got it done. Once we figured it out, it was way easier than using the post pounder, but not recommended to do it all the time. But it got the job done. We put these T-posts up just to have a place to lean the panels on that we end up putting here, so then they're not leaning up against the fence and ruining the fencing that we have. And we've just gradually accumulated those red panels that we have. They're all over the place. We did some weed burning over here just to kind of clean up. It didn't burn all the weeds or anything, but it got rid of the, more cluttery grasses that were sitting there. But, like the big stalks of sunflowers that were there before. And I think curly dock is the other one that has a thick stem. Those didn't quite burn, but it got rid of most of the just trash part that we wanted to get rid of. And here we're just doing more of the post pounding. This is where we ended up putting the pig panels. Just again, so then we're not leaning it up against the fencing, and it looks a little bit cleaner than just leaning it up against the fencing or having it lay on the ground and weeds end up growing over them, and all the fun farm things. And here we're just cutting up more of those panels that were part of that last run. It's, we're just tearing off the chicken wire, and then Ray's gonna go back through and use the chainsaw and cut it up. And this is the first time of me doing a video like this where I just kind of set the camera down and let it go while we're just doing our daily life. I did move it around a couple times, but for the most part I just left them alone. And I'd like to know what your guys' input on that is, how you like this versus me walking around with the camera. Obviously it's a little bit less functional for me to walk around with the camera, so it's easier for me to get footage on what we're doing. But then of course I don't have much control over what is getting recorded, and I just kind of have to hope for the best. Here we're just getting more panels that were back in the pasture, just more panels that we had accumulated, and Ray's gonna go drop them back off where we set up that that first set of T-posts. And these are panels that I'm going to be using in the garden for this year, just so then the dogs don't get through. So that's why we put those in the backyard. I'm using those taller cattle panels, so then I can use those as part of the chicken run when I'm not gardening. We can have the chickens back there and not have to worry about them flying over the little panels. And here you can see I'm moving a lot more slowly than Ray is. For one, he is just a quick mover and likes to get things done. And I am not wearing gloves. I have actually linked my gloves down below, what my favorite ones are. I've worn through a couple pairs of them, and I just love, how I'm able to move in them. They're not super thick where I can't feel what I'm, messing with, but they're thick enough to where I don't have to worry about pinching my fingers and everything like that. I really regret not wearing them because my fingers hurt after that. My hands and fingers hurt after this day, but I survived and we made it through. And when we do scrap metal, I like to get these big IBC totes. I'm able to get them free at a local, I'm not really sure what they do, but it's a local company to me, and I can just call them and let them know that I'm ready for another tote. And I just go down and get them. And we just cut off the top plastic part, and then we could just throw scrap metal inside no matter how big or little. I have thought about taking the plastic out, so then we're not scrapping plastic, but then the smaller pieces of scrap metal end up falling out, so I just deal with the trash fee that they charge me, and then I can just put all the scrap metal that I have in it. Here's just more of the chicken coop coming down. This is the last little bit of it, and Ray's just going to work his way over and keep cutting it up. And once all of this got cut up and put away, it was the biggest relief to just see this bare and empty. I had to do just a little bit of raking and cleaning up over on the left side. But once we did that, we were able to start leveling off the ground. Ray's just cutting up this wooden box that I had. I had the idea to use it as a nesting box, and I never had a chicken lay the eggs in it, so we're getting rid of that. And yeah, like I said, we're just getting ready to level off everything. Here I am raking like I had said, and we're getting rid of that big drop off there on the left and making it more of a level surface, just so it's just a nicer area to be around. So it's been a couple days since we have done that cleaning, and stuff has kind of not really gotten piled back up, but we've got stuff moved around like tractors and four-wheelers and things like that. So it's not as pretty as when we ended, but it's a work in progress. It's not something we're going to be able to just completely finish in a day, but I'm going to walk you through what we cleaned up and you know, what we have to do next. So starting over here, we just have just a pile of wood. That this is actually what the chicken run, just a pile of chicken run. Then we just gradually burn in that barrel. That barrel's full of ashes that we're letting cool down. And then we're just going to throw it in the dumpster, and then we don't have to think about it anymore. This is just scrap metal that we just have to take back over to our scrap trailer, and then I could take that to the scrap yard. T-posts we got moved over here. The big job that we did was organizing all of this, getting rid of a bunch of trash, and then we put our panels up, just really organized nicely. That way they weren't just stacked everywhere. That was one of the big things. Really, it was just a lot of putting stuff away, cleaning things up. And just tidying up a little bit. And then here is where we took down the chicken run. And then if you remember, if you look back in some of our older videos, there used to be a big building right here. It had since the roof caved in, and then after that we knocked it over. So that was my big winter project, was getting rid of all that lumber. And we are working on leveling this off. So that's what the end of the video was Ray doing dirt work, just making this more of a level area instead of just a big drop off like it was. So that is what we got accomplished on that day. And it wasn't, after looking back at the video, we didn't get near as much done as it felt like we did. And we definitely had bigger plans. But a lot of times on the farm, you don't realize how much work you have to do to get all the work done that you want to do. So just, yeah, that's what we got done. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next time. And yeah, thanks guys.